Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. Lexi and I took a week off because we've been dealing with lots of sickness, so we needed just some time to recover, but we're back, and today we're going to go over some new information in the Idaho student murder case. Search warrant documents from Pennsylvania have been released, and we're going to go over that information with you guys and just give you our thoughts. So let's get right into it. So there's been a few things that have come out that we want to update you guys on regarding the case. For those of you who don't know much about the case, I encourage you to go back and listen to some of our earlier episodes where we go more in depth about what happened and give you all the details. So let's talk about what was found in Bryan Kohberger's parents' home. Remember, Bryan's apartment in Washington was already searched a few months ago, and those findings have already been out for a while. But Bryan had driven to his parents' home, I think for like Christmas break, and his parents live in Pennsylvania, which is where he was arrested. And on February 28th, documents were released detailing what they found, and Lexi is going to read to you what they found.
So this list is very long. There's like 63 items on it. So you can easily find it online if you just search in like Pennsylvania search warrant for Idaho murders. But I'm just going to read some of the things that are on the list to you guys, and then we're going to discuss a couple of the things. So there was a silver flashlight, 4 medical gloves, a white Arizona t-shirt, a Champion sweatshirt, a pair of black and white Nike size 13 shoes, pair of socks, white Under Armour shorts, black Under Armour boxers large, and 1 buccal swab. And then they're kind of split up in different pages. So on the other page, they found a knife, a book with underlining on page 118, an AT&T bill for Bryan, a Glock 22, a Smith & Wesson pocket knife, a folder containing vehicle paperwork, an Acer laptop, green leafy substance in green container, documents, green leafy substance in plastic bag, white paper with, Ashley and I cannot for the life of us get what this word is, but I think it says password. That's what we're thinking. But white paper with something, a power cable, a cell phone, 3 Glock 40 magazines that were empty, books, black face masks, prescription, black gloves, and 1 black hat and 1 black mask.
And that's just about 20 of the items, right?
Yeah, like I said, the list I think is like 63 items on it. So that's only less than half of the things. And that, I mean, there's a ton on there.
Yeah, and you can go ahead, like we said, and look it up and see what else is on there. But those are just some of the things that we found interesting. One of the things that I wonder about is the knives. I wonder if any of those knives that they found was the murder weapon, because they don't really specify what kind of knife it is. I mean, I think there was like 3 total. 1 was a pocket knife, and the other 2, I feel like they didn't give much of a description.
No, I know for one of them, it literally just says knife, and then the other one, I think it says knife and sheath or something like that. Okay. And then the one is the Smith & Wesson pocket knife, but that's 3 knives. So I wonder if any of them, or the one that just says knife, is the murder weapon, and they just didn't want to put that out because they knew it would go to the public. But I don't know. I'm curious to see like what significance those have.
Yeah.
And they also seem to have taken specific clothing. We know that they took boxers, sweatshirts, I think a couple shirts and shorts, which makes me wonder if there were traces of like blood or DNA on them. Although it doesn't say there's no mention of blood being on them, but maybe again, because they know this is going to the public, they didn't want to put that on there. And maybe they appeared to have red spots on them or something suspicious like that made the police take them, but they just didn't want to tell us.
Yeah.
I think most of the clothing items that they took were black. So that's probably what he wore, like black clothing to the night of the murders. So maybe that's why they took it, because they thought like, okay, you can clean something, but it's black, so you're not going to see if there's like traces of blood still in it.
And that could be why they didn't write that in there, because they didn't see it firsthand. You can't see it. And you have to actually take it and test it or look super close to see it.
Yeah, but I know they always say that even though you think that like there's no blood left on it, there can still be blood like in the fibers of things, or very, very deep that your eye can't see. So I wonder if that's what they took it for, to test it.
Yeah, exactly. And the book with underlined pages. That's interesting for them to take that because people underline things and highlight things all the time as they're reading. So I feel like there's definitely a reason that they felt the need to take this.
Yes. What's also interesting to me, like, about this is how they figured out that page 118 was underlined. Like, did he rip the page out? Was it, like, on his desk or something? Or did they actually, like, thumb through books and find it underlined? Because page 118, like, that's not the first page. You got to go through some pages.
How do you come across that unless maybe, like you said, the book was already open on a desk or something?
Yes,
or like bookmarked. Yeah, maybe it's a book that has to do with murder or like a criminology type of book that talks about murder because, you know, in the past, we've talked about this. He researched, he got people to answer questions and he researched how to get away with crimes and he asked other people how they felt after committing a crime. So I'm thinking maybe it's a book he possibly used for research and what he underlined maybe could have some significance to the case. And that's why they took it. But besides what they found in Bryan's home, they also released search warrant findings for his car. So let's talk about that now. Lexi has the list in front of her here.
Yeah, so in the car, which was the Elantra, they found swabs, or they took swabs, I assume, Ziploc bag with pink zipper, 7 quarters, plastic baggie with green zipper, 36 dimes, 32 nickels, 8 pennies, gloves, receipts, car insurance card, car registration, hiking boots, Comfort Inn room key holder and stay information, tire irons, shovel, goggles, floor mats, reflective vest, used water bottles, wrench, door panel, seats and seat cushions, headrests, seatbelt, visor, fiber, brake pedal, gas pedal, phone charger, Band-Aid, wrappers, maps, documents, and seatbelt boot.
Okay. I think them taking the coins is really smart because obviously Bryan probably cleaned his car really well after the crime, but most people wouldn't think to clean off each and every coin individually.
No, 100%. I would not think of that. And if you think about it, if he has blood anywhere on him getting into the car, he may swing his arms or any part of his body.
Assuming that the money or the coins were right there.
Like right in front and not tucked away, but he could like move his arm in a way and blood could splatter on them and you wouldn't even really know to clean them that good.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that was a really smart move by them for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And the brake pedal and gas pedal. I feel like that's something that could be easily missed when you're cleaning.
Yes. Yeah, you know? And depending how the gas pedal is, I know the gas pedal in my car has like lines.
Like grooves in it.
Yes. So, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, how well you can clean something like that, I'm not 100% sure on. Like, I feel like you really have to scrub to get everything off. So he might have missed something on that.
Or he could have just completely forgot to clean those off because, like I said, I feel like that's something that could easily be missed when you're cleaning. Like, you just don't think about it. I know I clean my car a lot, and I never think to clean those.
Another thing that's super interesting to me on this list was the Comfort Inn room key. I wonder if, and it says they got the stay information too, but I wonder if this was something he booked to like go shower before he walked back into his apartment in Washington, or if this is something that like in a hotel him and his dad stayed at on their journey back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it could be either one of those things because I didn't even think about that until Lexi mentioned this to me before we hopped on here, but we don't know where he was for a while after the crime happened because his phone was off. He could have gone to a hotel to shower off, so there's no traces of any of that in his apartment or anywhere else that he would go to around there that police would think to look.
Right, but with that being said, I feel like they would execute a search warrant for that room, but I don't know, would that be made public? Like, I don't know how that would go because I'm sure they would want to go like get like the shower drain and test all of that stuff. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what that room key is from. Now we just wait to hear the significance of these items, and we're hoping that comes out in court, which is in late June, unfortunately. We got still a little while to go, but one other thing that we learned was that he supposedly had pictures of one of the girls, one of the victims, on his phone, I believe. We don't know which one of the girls that it was, but a lot of people seem to think that it's Kaylee.
Just because she's voiced in the past that she's had a stalker or she was concerned about a stalker.
Yeah.
So people are thinking it's Kaylee. I'm starting to lean more towards Madison the more I think about it. Just because she worked at that Mad Greek restaurant that he supposedly has eaten at before because they have a lot of vegan options and Bryan is a vegan. So I wonder if he first saw Madison there, and that's where this whole infatuation started.
Yeah.
If it's that type of scenario.
Which, to jump on that makes a lot of sense, because I feel like it's a lot easier to take pictures and watch somebody when they're working, because like when you're working, especially in like food service, you're not paying attention. Like a million people walk through the door, so she wouldn't really be paying attention to who's sitting or who's taking pictures of her. She probably wouldn't notice. So I feel like it's a lot easier for him to get pictures and information on Maddie than it is Kaylee.
Yeah, and he could have easily followed her home from work. He could have waited for her to leave her shift, and he could have followed her that way, and that's where he found out where she lived. And then also, another thing, Kaylee didn't live at that house anymore.
I was just going to say that. So I feel like it's a little far, like, of a reach for it to be Kaylee, because I feel like I don't even think Maddie knew she was coming, because it was said to be like a surprise. She was surprising Maddie with her new car and just coming up for the weekend. So how the heck did he know that she was going to be there, you know?
Right. Unless if it was Kaylee, unless he knew she was coming up. And so he decided to commit the crimes that night. But like you said, I feel like that's kind of far-fetched. What are the odds that he happened to choose the night that she was there?
I'm hoping that we get to hear from the prosecution on, the pictures and how the pictures were, because another big question is, were the pictures like off of their social media, or were they pictures in action as if he's stalking them? We don't know. They just said they had pictures of one of the girls.
Yeah. But to end things on a positive note, Kaylee's sister Olivia welcomed a baby girl recently, and they named her Theodora Maddie Kay, which is just so sweet, and it's such a nice tribute to the two girls. But that is all we have for you guys today. Thank you for listening, and as always, we'll keep you guys updated as more information comes out. But until then, stay safe and have a great weekend.